most people are saying no, and that's probably wise. You don't know the Lost Chord? It's by Sir Arthur Sullivan. It's about as unlike Ragtime as I can imagine. So it's totally unappropriate here. Seated one day at the organ, I was weary and ill at ease, and my fingers wandered idly over the noisy keys. This old guy came in when I was playing this at the Wawona Hotel. He said, "We used to sing over my DVDs." I don't think I should do it now. I know not what I was playing or what I was dreaming then, but I struck one chord of music like the sound of a great amen, like the sound of a great amen. I should tell you a story. Sir Arthur Sullivan, who wrote that in 1877, the songwriting team of Gilbert and Sullivan, you know that, was in Los Angeles in 1885 visiting relatives who lived there. And he decided to visit Yosemite, and so he took the train, the overnight train from LA to Madera, and it was hot and miserable. It was August, first week in August, and took the stage from Madera up to Wawona. He went through Oakhurst. It was called Fresno Flats. People in Oakhurst don't realize Sir Arthur Sullivan was in their town, nor do they care. Anyway, he continued on up through Fish Camp, where I live, and my wife and 3 cats, and stayed at the Wawona Hotel. Before they got, this is a good story, probably before they got to Fresno Flats, Sir Arthur's niece was along on the trip, Annie Sullivan, and she wrote in her journal that a crowd of roughnecks filled the road and forced the stage to stop somewhere probably around Course Gold, I like to think. And Sir Arthur was very worried about this, and his niece wrote that they looked like miners, and they forced the stage to stop, and they were all shouting, demanding to see Sullivan. Sullivan, we want Sullivan. And so she wrote, well, poor Uncle Arthur, this fat, bald man, got up and he peered out from the stage, and they started yelling at him, "Sullivan, well, you're not Sullivan, we came here to see Sullivan. John L. Sullivan." They heard Sullivan was coming through on the stage. And Annie wrote that they took their disappointment good-naturedly. And then he came into Yosemite Valley the next day, and Ulysses S. Grant had died 2 weeks before. And they were holding, if you're familiar with the Yosemite Chapel there, the historic chapel, they were holding a memorial service for Ulysses S. Grant in the chapel, and they asked Sir Arthur Sullivan to play, which he did. He played the pump organ in that chapel, August 8th, I think, of 1875. And I like to think that he played the Lost Chord. You know for sure, it's not, nobody wrote what he played, but he had written, what's Sir Arthur's other big religious hit? Do you know? He wrote the music to that. People don't realize that. And so they must have played that, and I'd like to think that he, so I'll pick up where I left it. It flooded the crimson twilight like the close of an angel's psalm, and it lay on my fevered spirit with a touch of infinite calm. It quieted pain and sorrow like love overcoming strife. It seemed a harmonious echo of our discordant life. It linked all perplexed meaning into one perfect piece, then trembled away to silence as if it were loath to cease. I have
It may be that death's bright angel will speak in that chord again. It may be that only in heaven I shall hear that grand amen. It may be that death's bright angel will speak in that chord again. It may be that only in heaven I shall hear that grand amen.
That's not ragtime. Came here to hear ragtime. All right, next president. Rutherford B. Hayes came along next, but who cares, you know? In 1880. And then Teddy Roosevelt, in 1903, walked into the Wawona Hotel to have lunch with John Muir on May 18th. It was Monday. He was on his way out of the park. And this rag had just come out, written by Scott Joplin. And so this is what I was playing when they were coming.
To turn you out, the color sergeant said. What makes you look so white, said files on parade. I'm playing what I've got to watch, the color sergeant said. For they're hanging Danny Beaver, they are marching underground. They've halted Danny Beaver by his coffin on the ground. And they'll hang in half a minute for a sneaking, shooting hound. And they're hanging Danny Beaver in the morning.
It goes on from there.